any dramas in your life? That's always like a dramatic event.
But yes, I have had one, and fortunately the final result was good. And when
Miami dramas to game, never one and the same, excitement and depth in every frame, joy and journey, joy in the fame. Agata and Kinga send the flame.
Hi all, we have our new episode of Miami Drama Podcast, and our guest today is
Marco Baldocchi, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you that you have a time for us and you came, because we know you are very busy and it's not so easy. We tried like since June.
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah, to invite you here, but finally you are here. Tell us something more about you. What is your professional? Where are you from? What are you doing every day?
Yeah, I'm from Italy. I moved here 3 years ago. I started my business in the United States 8 years ago, just like a challenge. I had a good life in Italy and I didn't think to move to the United States. But things in life happens, and so it happens. I was here in Miami for vacation and walking through a street. My wife told me, why don't you try to do your business in the United States? That it's so, she used the word strange, and I don't know if it's positive or negative, but we can say innovative. And my answer was, it's impossible. I can't live in the United States, it's impossible. But I had the idea in my mind, and that's why I tried. I started my business here.
But it was Miami from the beginning?
Yeah,
Okay.
from Miami. Yeah, I love this city. I love the mood of this city. And probably it's the only place in the United States where I can live. Yeah. And then I decided to try to start my business here. My business is neuroscience applied to consumer behavior and marketing and branding. But for the most, I would like to say to consumer behavior, because the human being is the center of my study. We use biomedical tools to, like electroencephalography, eye tracking, galvanic skin response, the measurement of the microsweeping, that give us the information how much intense is the emotion that someone is feeling, to figure out what happens in our brain, in our body when we do an experience. Every experience can be, I have a package in my hand, I see a video, I surf social media, all experience we can have. And so imagine that you can see inside the human mind and find the answer that all the brands search, because we are not rational anymore, we are emotional anymore that rationalize our processes. So science teaches us that the 95% of our decision process are triggered by an emotion, are triggered by a sensation before and an emotion then.
So for example, if you are sad, don't go to the store.
Correct.
Because you will buy too much.
Correct.
Okay.
Or if you are hungry, you don't have to go to a supermarket, because probably you try and you will buy
Everything almost.
correct and probably nothing healthy, because in that moment you are hungry and so you want to eat something. The emotion, the moment of the day is very important. Also when you send a marketing message, it's the thing that often brands don't think about it, but it's very important. Because when you create the message, you have to intercept your potential public in the right moment. If I'm in a rush in the traffic, you can create the best advertising, but probably my attention is not focused on that, it's focused on the terrible traffic of Miami, for example. So I came from Italy and I decided to move here. I'm from a very small town in Italy, in Tuscany, called Lucca. So you can imagine, from a very small town to the
Miami.
huge city of Miami. It's insane, huh? And my first job was like I was repairing computer in a basement. I worked for a shop. They repaired computer, and I was a technician. Basically, I was a technician. I studied at university, and my free time, or more or less, I worked for them.
So like the 18, 19.
Yes, something similar. And then I grow because I'm a very curious person. I'm passionate of my job. I'm very passionate in all my life. Everything for me is pushed by passion. And I'm very curious. So slowly I grow. And in 2005, I started my first company in Italy. And my first office was a very tiny room without heater, And in Italy, the winter is not so kind and it was very cold. And the first thing I bought was a small heater that I connected on electrician and just to have a little bit warm my office. From that moment to now, it seems another life, like a second life. In the last 3 years, I had 3 international awards. I was being nominated Best Speaker in the World in 2021 from the Neuromarketing and Business Association. I have been nominated in Marcus Russo directory, and it's funny because I didn't know who they are, and they called me, oh, but I want to, and I was thinking they could be scammed, so I say, oh, I'm busy now, I can't send me an email, and I perceived the person on the other side a little bit perplexed, but she sent me an email like after 40 seconds, I read it, and I said, oops. This is not scam. They are true. So I called them back. I'm sorry, I didn't know you. Sorry. And there is a directory where they insert the 3 best % people in their field.
Wow.
And then there in the United States, and I didn't know that. It's not a, but it's me. This is me. If I have to describe myself, this is the perfect example.
You don't focus on the outside noise.
Correct.
Just
Correct.
focus on
I'm
your
totally
passion.
focused on myself, on my business, of my goal, and probably this is a lucky thing for me because I'm so concentrated on my thing that I perceive my goal till I reach that. But the other side, that sometimes I miss some part of these happens, like another oversight. The C was the Inside 250 from ESOMAR, is the ranking of the top 250 professional in consumer research in the world. And I received a push notification from my phone on LinkedIn, and I was tagged there. And my first thought was, why they tagged me in a post? I'm not interested in this stuff. It's LinkedIn, it's not Facebook. Why they did this? And then I was with a customer of mine. They had like a coffee break, and they watched it. And they, because I am one of them. This is the reason why I'm in this post. I didn't know I had been nominated, so I didn't know just when I received the award. So this is my life. But the best side of my life and my job is working with people and put the human being and their interest at the center of my study every single day. And I can say you, we are amazing like human beings. Our emotion are amazing. We are so full of input in these periods. Nowadays we receive so much stimuli. Our brain is not able to analyze all the stimuli and memorize all the stimuli. So we choose, and we are able to say just a little part of this stimuli. And basically, the trigger is a small detail that creates an emotion. And that's absolutely insane. When you are able, working with some project, to figure out what is that trigger, and you see your customers change completely the way they communicate and they reach the goal thanks to small details, it's insane. Because it's the science that teaches us this, it's not me.
How did you come up with this whole idea?
There is a true story that I can tell you. The true story is I bought a car. I bought a car when I lived in Italy. I was the Jeep Grand Cherokee. But Lucca is a very small city with narrow streets. But I was passionate for the snow. In fact, now I'm living in Miami, obviously. And I was passionate for the snow, and the Jeep Grand Cherokee was perfect to go on the snow. So I decided to buy that car. I waited a lot for that car. When that car arrived to me, I figured out it was the wrong car in my city. I have streets too narrow, and I couldn't go through there. Yes, the parking is very small, so this car is too huge, and I can't park everywhere. It was a mess. Absolutely, the very bad thing. And so I tried to figure out what happens, because in that moment I worked on strategy, marketing strategy. So I had to figure out what happens to me and why I bought that car. And then I figured out it was an emotion. I saw a lot of videos where people drove that car into the snow and something similar. I was imagining myself doing the same. Now it's common to talk about experience. But we are talking about 2010, more or less, and we didn't talk about experience.
Yeah.
The marketing was completely different.
Totally. And so I started searching. I'm curious, I told you before, and I found a thing called emotional marketing. The emotional marketing was the grandparent of the neuroscience applied to marketing, because emotional marketing was not a good reply to a good answer. I was go deeper, because emotional is nothing. We are not only emotions. We are an amazing dance between emotion and rationality. It's an amazing dance. And so I tried to go deeper, and then I found how our brain works. So I studied for neuroscience. I did the master for neuroscience, and then I figured out what happens in my brain when I decide to buy that car. After 6 months, I sold the car. Okay. And another one, more accurate for my city, more aligned with my needs. So from that moment, I figured out that it was more than a message, than the normal marketing. In fact, after the COVID, all the brands figure out that the normal marketing start having problems. For example, pay-per-click have a less revenue. What's happened? The human being is changed. But if you are able to figure out why we are changed, what's now really important for us, you can figure out how to create a strategy that resonates in the right part of the human brain. When we think about the human being like consumer, we think they are 100% rational. But when we are buyer, we are not rational at all. So why my customer have to be rational and I'm not?
Yeah.
And this is a simple question that especially often brands don't ask, don't do this question to themselves.
So
Let me try.
what kind of the people, companies are your customers?
My customers are, I can't say visionary entrepreneurs. Visionary because they are people that they can imagine that there is something more complicated than the normal market. Like human being, we love the habits, we love to do the same things. And often we hope that doing the same things, something change. But it's not real. It doesn't happen, never. Again, Einstein say that the most insane thing that human being is to think that things change doing the same thing forever. So I are visionary in luxury. I work with luxury, I work with automotive, I work with sports, I work with food and beverage, and I love food and beverage because it's the only industry where we use all our senses, and it's amazing. But for the most, it's medium and big company that really want to do something different, and they have special focus on their customers. Because when you analyze your customers, you want to really know what they feel when they interact with your service or their products. So you are really interested in them. Sure, you are interested in them to sell more, obviously, but ethically to create the best experience. Now marketing talk about experience. All people talk about experience.
Do you work with startups, the new brands?
Yes.
Okay.
About the perception. We work a lot with the perception. Sometimes when I have to explain to like kids or something here what I do in my life, I say I work with the perception. When you are a startup, you don't have a history of your brand, but you want to figure out what happens when people watch your logo, when people see your packaging or your advertising. What's the first impression? You know, there isn't a second occasion to create a good first impression. And our brain creates the first impression in 7 seconds. In 7 seconds, your brain creates an idea of the things, the person that you have in front of you. So you have 7 seconds to convince the people to stop scrolling on social media, or in that case, it's very less time, or to buy your product, to get your product from a shelf or something similar. In this case, we help startup with 2 things. And the other side, one of the biggest issue for startup is to be persuasive. Why I have to buy your product when it's years that I'm buying another one? The persuasion is a scientific part. Persuasion is composed by 3 steps. The first step is to get the attention. The second step is to create an emotion. And the third step is to engage the rational part of the human being brain. If you invert the order of these three paths, it doesn't work. And there is a scientific explanation. I don't go too deeper in this scientific area of our brain. It's boring probably for the people that will see this episode, but there is a sequential activation of different areas of our brain that tell us, simplifying, that we have to get attention, create an emotion, and then rationalize all the stuff. So when you have to present a product, often, for example, I work with a yacht company, and they had in their brochure, they had a lot of technical information in the first page. No, this is the rational part. Before, you have to get attention with a beautiful image. Let me imagine to live the experience, to be on that boat in the middle of the sea with my friends, having fun. And then you have to give me all the information, horsepower and all this information. And the 99% of brands now are doing these things in the wrong way.
Really?
Yes.
So, I mean, I would think you want to get them excited first and then go to the details, right?
Correct. You think about wine. The first thing that catches your attention is the label that is in the front, or the bottle, the shape of the bottle. Only in the second moment you get the bottle and you turn the bottle to read the information. It's an easy explanation of when you are ready to do this movement, to get that bottle, your brain is ready to receive information. In fact, you find the information on the back.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't think in this way, no?
There is a psychology behind it.
Yeah.
My job is a mix of marketing, science, and psychology. We do also mobile application or software, but also in the mobile application, there is a study, a psychology study, because the time of when you receive a push notification, it's programmed. The moment, the user experience that you have when you use the mobile application. Why we use some application and some others we uninstall it, or we stop using now our iPhones uninstall automatically in a few days. Because there is a study behind. And all the people are different. And this is amazing because it's true, our brain is the same. But we are influenced by the area we live and the life we live. So a person from New York probably doesn't have the same reaction from a person from Miami, and they don't have the same reaction from a person from Chicago.
Yeah.
So when we do our research, we do research in all these different areas. If I have to find something in common to create a strategy, because brands can do strategies city by city, obviously. Or we search the common point, and often is an unconscious need. Like human beings, we have needs. Some of them are conscious and are the needs that we are able to share with friends or with people. And the unconscious need are the needs that we have, but we are not able to explain. Steve Jobs figured out that the unconscious need of the users of a mobile phone was to reach all the screen without moving the hand, only moving one finger. In fact, the first iPhone was small enough to touch all the parts with the same thing. Was the unconscious need that probably did a great product for the iPhone. That's insane. A small detail can change completely the perception. And I remember one of his interviews, so my iPhone has to be sexy. Which phone can be sexy? But if you have your iPhone in your hand, with the cover or without, you can understand what it means. Because if you have your iPhone in your hand without a cover, it's really sexy. The touch is sexy. When you have an iPhone with the cover, it's totally another phone. Yes, sure. Protect the phone, blah, 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 but it's totally another phone.
Yeah, it's totally different phone. Yeah.
It could be the best cover ever. It's totally another feeling. Because we are a sensorial animal. We are guided by our senses. And we don't think about it. We live in our mind, we think business, we think, okay, now I have to do this, then I have to do that. but we are central animal.
So I have a question. So you've been doing this for, a while now, and now watching all the social media. What can you say about that? Because there's a lot of, we have TikTokers, Instagrammers, we have podcasts. There's so much going on. How does this fit with what you do?
I think that all these content creators are for the 95% noise, not sound. And our brain don't like to receive too much noise. I have all the social media, but I follow few accounts, and they see few accounts, and they interact with few accounts. If you go on your Instagram, you have a list of people you don't interact with, and it's a very long list. What does it mean? That probably, you are connected anyway, but you are really not interested. So when you want to interact with someone, you have to be persuasive. You have to create the right message for the right person. Your message, your service have to solve the unconscious need they have. When you feed their unconscious need, I start interacting with you, I start following you, and that's it. So it's correct that all the brands try to use all the social media, but they have to figure out what they have to say on that social media. If you create social media just to create, just to be present, it's useless, because people are not interested in receive so much information, and it's too much. And let's say before, our brain is not able to memorize all this information. So for the moment, it's a mess. I spoke often with brands and say, I am here, I'm here, and I have the same message for all the social media. Why? Different social media, different public, different message. If I try to speak with you, I will speak anyway. If tomorrow I will have a lesson in university, probably I will talk about the amygdala or the hippocampus, areas of our brain. If I have to talk with my 6-year-old son, I will try to say I work with persuasion, I work with advertising or something similar. I have to simplify. Another thing, brands or content creators do very complicated things. We are a lazy animal. We don't like to read too much, and we want to find our answer doing less, spending less energy as possible. And so we are lazy and we are egoists. And egoism is one of the reasons why we are so evolved. So people search just the things that are very important for them. Don't give me tons of information. Give me one information, the one I need.
Simple, direct.
Simple. Simplicity is, it's a very stupid thing, but simplicity is a trick for having success. Don't be too much complicated. For example, I use just one social media for the post, and it's LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, I have a newsletter with a lot of people, and I have the 97% opening rate and reading rate. And it's insane, 97%. I talk about neuroscience applied to consumer behavior. Last episode was about how to use the emoji in the right way in your marketing, or how the music influences the reaction of people during an experience. But I use just one. Then I have my podcast as well. I have to work with it. It's not a visual podcast, it's only a podcast on Spotify, but it needs a lot of time. But the very important thing, I do one, and I try to do as best as possible. I don't want to be on 100 platforms different and create content just to create. Who search information for me is very focused and interested in the things I talk about. And they know that there they can find. I share my knowledge, also because it's a very innovative thing and people have to know before understanding exactly what it is. Now we are, for example, rebranding totally our website because it's cool but it's too complicated. We probably fell down in the course of knowledge. Course of knowledge is a bias of our brain. When you think a lot to your product or your service, you have a huge knowledge about your product, but your customers second to understand what you are doing. And sometimes you give too much information.
Too fast.
Correct. When you go to a restaurant, if someone comes to you to tell you, oh, this is the cake list, and they read to you the hit list. Probably you remember the first one and the last one.
Yeah.
In the middle, nothing. It's a normal behavior of our brain. So when you write something, you have to put the most interesting thing at the starting point, at the end, not in the middle. But brains don't think about this. But all we have experience. We are lazy. Do you ever drive from home to business place without remembering nothing about the path? But you arrive at home or in the office. It's the same path you do every single day, and the rational part of your brain has been disconnected. But you are able to drive, you didn't do an accident and something similar. Because you
Memorize.
correct. And you use only the automatic part of your brain that say to you when you have to brake, when you have to accelerate, when you have to turn, and something similar. Maybe I'm not to the right, but it's okay. It happens.
Now it's automatic. It's set on-
Drive a little bit. So yeah, we are.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble with the social media, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Social media now is, it's, I think it's too much, and the algorithm of social media change. And so, for example, advertising, talking about advertising, you see that now you see more big brands instead of small companies because the costs are higher and something similar. It's a way for the social media to make a selection. So if you use social media without spending the right amount of money and to dedicate the right amount of time, you don't have to do see. Better choose one or two of them, but do a good job of them and have a good reaction and give that detail that your customers really is really relevant for your customers.
So we know a lot now, not everything, but a lot about your business and about your business life. What about your private life? Do you have a time for it?
Yes, I have. For me, it's very important myself and take care of myself. Every single day I have my training session. I'm lucky I live very close to a gym, so I can have my training session. And I have an amazing family, wife, 2 kids, and we moved here when they were very, very young. So like now they are 6 and 4, so can you imagine, it was not easy. But it's very important to find time for them. It's a question of prioritize the very important thing in your life. And for example, for me, having like 45, 1 hour time for training is a way to switch off the phone, listen to my music, have my time with myself, and there is, I completely disappear for the world. I travel a lot. I love my job, so I spend a lot of energy. But before all, I want to enjoy the life. The only things that anyone can give us is the time. And time is the most precious things we have. Otherwise, you arrive at a certain point, you can say, okay, I'm a successful man, I have a good business, but what about me? What about my kids? What about my family? And I don't want to do this mistake. When I live in Italy, the life is totally different. Italy from the United States is completely different. Here, we work more.
Yes. Bring back to Italy many times.
Yeah.
Love Italy, but
Yeah, it's a beautiful place for vacation,
Yeah.
not for living. Too much taxes. But when I was in Italy, I really arrived at a certain point. I really worked too much. I went to my office at, I don't know, 7 a.m. and I came home like 9 p.m. and it was really too much. Every single day, that was my life. Just a short break for having lunch, something
Do you have
fast.
a siesta?
No, absolutely no. I didn't have them. Italy is like switching two ways. There is a way. Italy is an amazing place, but there are people obsessed by their job, their work, money, and more or less like the United States. And a lot of people that like to live and to enjoy the life. So for them it's okay. I have less money, but I have beautiful places, more time, and all. I was not that kind of man. So I probably because I love the things I do. So for me, it's not job. I really love it.
being very
Yes.
driven is your problem.
I found the time to work to write 2 books in my life, and one was insane because the publishing company said, "Okay, you have 5 months to write 250 pages," and I say, "Why not?" But the only reason was it was the most important publishing company in Italy that asked me, so it was an occasion, why not? It was a mess. I became an author, and the worst thing that I love it. And my final goal will be to live in front of the ocean writing books. So, and it's amazing because really when I did a lot of studies, I read like 200 researchers all over the world to create my book. And when I finished the book, I sent the book to the publishing company, and then you recognize that everything's finished because you don't have any information more than your book. Sometimes someone tag you on the social media that they are reading your book, but you don't have other information. Sometimes they pay you their royalty and that's it. But all the time you spend for that book, I can keep that because for his life and now it's a hole in your life and you have to do something other, and so I started to write another one. So I am slowly. I don't have a publishing company, I get my yes. And so I think that having time for yourself is important. More time you can, but it's not probably how much, but it's the quality of the time that you can have. I don't have a lot of time to spend with my kids. But probably in the evening you can find me sitting on the floor, playing with the Lego with my kids, or I don't know, I have a very young girl, 4 years old, like brushing my hair or something similar. It's okay, it's my time with them. It's the level of the time you spend for yourself or for the people you love.
And being present.
Correct. And in the right way. It's not buying things or something similar. And I had a good result in it and a good proof of it during this summer. I went to a beautiful place with my kids, it was like a party and blah, and there was people selling like balloons or something similar, or there is a boat tour. And I told my son, okay, you can choose, or you can buy a gun, I don't remember what it was, it's like a toy, or we do the tour with the boat. You choose. And he choose the boat.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And say, okay, he preferred the experience instead of the toy. And he say, okay, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing.
It's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I am a Freemason, and I'm happy to be a Freemason. And for me, like Freemason, the very important thing is to be tomorrow better than today. I'm working on myself to be the best version of myself, and then trying to give this value to my kids.
Like the children mirror you.
Yes, absolutely.
Reflection.
And they are incredible. They analyze everything you do, and they try to let them show that if you do well, you have results, but results are not automatically. You have to fight for them. I never do a tattoo, but it's one of my dreams. Probably one day when I'm older. No, so I don't know. But my phrase is no pain, no gain. It's my phrase for all the life. In my life, my father was a person working for the state in Italy, like for, and my mother has a very small shop, Arakel small shop. So I came from a very normal family, and I'm the only one that changed completely his life and took a step forward because I'm curious, and because I fight for all my goals every single day. And I want every single day to make a step forward. I don't know what is my final goal, because probably we don't have a final goal.
What is your next goal?
The very next goal?
Yeah.
The very next goal, I found an investor and they are investing in my company. So we'll open an office in New York as well. And and we are doing good things. And so this is my very next goal, to fix all this, because when I start playing with investors was a little bit complicated for me because I'm not an expert in this. So I have some consultation that helped me figure out the work. So this is my next goal, having my office also in Miami and in New York.
So
yes.
you're living between Miami and New York.
I think that I would like to live in Miami and travel to New York for business. I went to New York often, but the last time was before leaving for Italy, and it's not messy. I love the city for 3 days, 4 days,
Yeah,
but it's not
I
messy.
don't like the energy either. I don't
Yeah.
want to sound bad, but I don't know. It's just too much.
Yeah, and they found less safe than Miami, but probably depends on the area where you are, obviously. but I love the nature, I love the ocean, I love the trees, so it's not my city. It's perfect for business. The 95% of my customers are from New York, Chicago, Dallas, few in Florida. Because when I arrived, I figured out that like few people know about neuroscience applied to consumer behavior or marketing or brand. So, and in other cities probably there is a little bit more knowledge, so it's easier. Los Angeles, I have customers there because the other side is a little probably advanced for some things. But I prefer to live here. It's probably most European. And
Exactly, yeah, it's a melting pot for sure.
correct. All my friends are from all over the world.
We completely understand. So while we're on the podcast, it's called Miami Drama.
Yeah.
Any dramas in your life? That's always like a dramatic event.
But yes, I have had one, and fortunately the final result was good. And when my life is it's a mess. It's a beautiful mess. My life. I have been married with a wife, and we would like to have a baby. Then her sister had a baby, and it seems like a crazy thing. It's a baby. It's a mess. So she changed her life. She changed her mind. She changed. I don't want to become a mother. And so I broke the marriage. I said, okay, I want to be father. I broke the marriage, and I searched for my life. I met another woman. It's my life with my wife now, and after a few events, she told me, "Oh, I can't have baby. I have an issue. I can't have baby." It's not in my life. I don't have to be a father. We decided to adopt. After a few months, she got pregnant, and the miracle happens. And she had our first baby. Then she didn't think about it, and after less than 1 year, we had another one. And so now we figure out that we would. It's okay. Everything is okay. Then the first one everything was amazing. The second one, the doctor told us that she could have a issue for trisomy of chromosome number 2. And there is no scientific proof, so they didn't tell us what could be. She can have cognitive issues, she can have physical issues, she can not born. So she absolutely, we didn't know nothing about this. We decided to trust, we decided to go ahead. We went to Sweden to have DNA tests. We did a lot of tests, all the tests possible. All the tests say the same thing. But the baby was very small, very tiny, but seems perfect. So we decided to go ahead. At 6 months, less than 1 kilo, she was born. It's like a small cat, okay? And I can't say you, the first time I saw her, I counted her fingers. Because one of the first issues was they don't have all fingers. So I remember exactly that moment. I was counting her fingers. She was okay. They did the DNA test. The DNA test was clear, was perfect. The problem was in the placenta. And when they did the test, they got the placenta when they came back, because they got the DNA from the baby and they go through the placenta. So probably the placenta interact with the DNA of the baby, and the problem was in the placenta. So this is the reason why the baby didn't grow. Because the placenta wasn't able. Correct. So I remember once I went to a doctor, and this doctor was very rude, and he told us, the nature is saying to you that this baby doesn't have to born. Why you want to go ahead? And I remember I was not ready to say nothing to him. I remember I was like, what? How you can say something similar to a couple of people that are having that baby for months? And it's insane that moment. I remember the trip back to home was totally silent, and I went to home, I lie on the bed watching the ceiling like this, thinking, now what we have to do? And she's 4 years old, she's a princess, she talked a lot, she talked to everyone. She wanted to go to school with lipstick. 4 years old. I'm still learning. Yeah. And that's amazing. Every single day I see her, and she's a fighter. She's absolutely a fighter. Probably she had to fight for life.
Yes.
And she's a fighter now. Her name is Victoria.
Yeah.
That in Italian means winner.
Yeah.
And because she won on life. And this is my drama, and now I'm very happy, and I'm a great person. I'm very grateful for the life. For me, we have to concentrate ourselves on the positive things happens, not on the negative things. Negative things are a part of our life. When you are able to concentrate on the positive thing in your life, there is a lot of bad things around us. Every single
And also the energy shift too.
Correct.
When you focus on the positive.
Correct.
It's,
And-
you always go a little higher.
Correct, and you attract positive things. If you are concentrating on negative things, you concentrate negative. You attract negative things, and sometimes it's not easy. Obviously, I have some friends of mine say, "How is it possible?" It's a mindset. It's like when you have a training session. If I stop training myself for 2 months, the next training will be very complicated. Go to the gym is very complicated. But if I do every single day or 5 days per week, I miss my training session. So it's a mindset.
And discipline also discipline.
Correct. Discipline is base of everything. Because in life, anyone gives nothing. And if you want something, you have to fight for it, and you have to go and catch. And if you are not able to, you have to try and try and try. I was speaking with a friend of mine a few days ago, and he told me, "What's your secret?" And I said, "I don't have secrets. I mean, it's the only suggestion I can give you: learn how to bounce. Because in life you will fall down, absolutely. But very important is how you are able to bounce. When you are able to bounce, and you can do. I had very bad hunters from a very huge company. They engaged me, and we talked about months for a very important contract. And after that, after I don't know how many meetings, they say, "Oh no, we change our priorities, so we have to reschedule in future," and blah blah blah. And they spend a lot of time with them doing correct. And the first day was very hungry. Say, "That's not correct. What happens? No, I'm a correct person. I'm a very ethical person. What has happened?" They say, "It's okay. Probably it's my life. This is my way.
And that's
Probably I don't have to work with them. There's probably something bigger coming. And so if I work with them, probably I waste my time with them." It's not easy. It's more easy to say than to do.
Exactly to do.
Correct. But when you are able to train yourself to do this type of thinking, you start doing automatic, more or less automatic. Sometimes it's better, sometimes no. But you have to concentrate. Positive things happen. I have been scammed from an Italian. I don't trust Italian. I've been scammed by an Italian here in Miami. I'm scammed with a huge project. Was a very good friend of mine. Scammed me, and I was very bad. Not only for the scam, obviously, and money I lost, but also because he was a friend of mine, and I really.
That's the worst thing.
Yes, absolutely. Probably was one of the most positive things happens to me, because from that moment I fight 3 times more to have success in this city, in this place, and that's insane. How much negative thing can be an incredible trigger, an incredible booster for you, more than a positive one.
If you are thinking in the right way, yes.
Yeah. When I arrived here, I had a good success in Italy, in Europe, so I created my own company using my name, just because I had a good personal branding, so I used my personal branding also here. But when you move here, you have to start from zero, more or less. And the first years was amazing. It was amazing. I had customers that searching me like this. It's incredible. Too much, probably. It's, I don't know, the luck of starters, I don't know how you say. And then I had a bad moment, and it was insane, because in Italy you don't flow so much. It's more regular. Here you can go
It's like
very
market.
high.
Yeah,
It's correct. And I say, okay, here I have to find more. It's okay, no problem at all. We're fine.
I like it. You just have to close it and just
Yes,
let it
absolutely. I have 2 ways. I can complain with myself, say, "Oh, I'm not lucky, what happened?" Or I can do something. But if I don't do nothing
You end up
happens.
like, well,
So I have to be my lucky trigger. I have to be my trigger every single day. I have to be my fortune. I received, just to have an idea about marketing, like human being, a journalist from Los Angeles, credo, I don't remember, she was Italian, because sometimes she called me, I want to interview you, okay? She worked about wine, she worked for a few companies, and she told me, okay, I can, and we had a very pleasant conversation in front of a glass of wine, and Italian, I love wine, and she had a very beautiful moment together. Then she went and she told me, oh, I will send you the link for the interview. Okay, I was not so concentrated on where she arrived exactly. I didn't figure out, probably I didn't take care too much about it. After a few days, I received an email from her and I click on the link like, okay, let me see the article. And then I'm on Forbes.
Yeah, I saw, actually, I read
Yeah.
that.
I didn't know.
We spoke about it.
And I didn't know. So you can imagine? And I saw the article and said, what's that logo?
Maybe
Oh.
this is the way.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like for you, it's your passion, and everything else is just a side effect.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And things happen.
Yes.
Because if I have to say to you, I'm here with a one visa for extraordinary abilities. One of the most beautiful things happens in the last month was when I came back from Italy. It was the control when I exit from the airport, and the guy there saying, "Oh, one visa for extraordinary abilities. So you are a very special person. Please let me know what's your ability. I'm so curious." For me, it was amazing. Probably more than having an article on Forbes that doesn't write about me, because that guy was a very normal person that asked me, "Oh, it's an honor to talk with you. You are an O1." Oh, really? That's me, because when I was in that small office without heating system, I was the same man. I had the same value. I was not different from now. Nothing's changed for me. I am the same person, and my real luck is I'm not able to figure out where I am. A person told me, you watch in front of you, you try to figure out what is your next level or your next challenge. I live for challenges. I really live for challenges. And so I don't have time to see now where I am. Now it's my normal life. So my normal life, yes, I drive a beautiful car, I live in a beautiful house, yes, sure. But I'm watching what I can do better. And that's my life. So I can be on Force and you can find me playing on Lego on the floor. That's not.
I think we need more people like you in Miami.
What a great energy.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a lot of good people in Miami, but it's a little bit fake city. There is a lot. I had some good friends, but I met a lot of people that are interested in who you are, or because you are successful, so they can. The craziest thing, they can catch your secrets. I don't have secrets. I really don't have secrets. The only secret is I am probably a world champion in bouncing. Probably I'm because there is no secret. When you do something every single day with the passion you have inside, probably you have to find the way to push your passion in the right way.
Convert.
Correct. To find the unconscious need of your customer, to find the unconscious trigger that can you make a step forward. But the only thing I can say is bounce. When you bounce, you can go everywhere. And life is this. If you
Yes.
bounce in here, that's it. Go.
yes, it's a good idea. I'm bouncing through a golf area.
It's very good idea.
It's a good idea. It's
Simple market is, let's bounce.
absolutely. And a few days ago I talked about the example to watching the human mind, and I was talking about this topic for 12 years and never said something similar. A few days ago I was talking with a guy and told me, I'm not able to understand what you do in your life. Or this question is the normal question that my mother did for her entire life. What you do in your life? And it's normal. But the young guy, younger than me, watching me say, what do you do for a living? And I explain, I'm not able to figure out. So there is something wrong in my explanation. Okay, how I can explain? open the head of the person in front of you, read what they have inside the brain. It's an amazing thing, right? Yes, okay, I do this. Easy, no?
You're a mind reader.
Yes, yeah, more or less a mind reader. The scientific mind reader.
It's very simple.
Very
Yes,
simple.
correct.
But I listen.
And in the new website, I will add that information. I will add that phrase because I have to explain easily. There are things that you have to simplify, then things that have to be understood. And in this case, this is science. It's complicated, obviously. If it was easy, all the marketing agencies can do the same. But it's not easy, and you have to keep updated. Do you think that it's funny to read all the time scientific research all over the world? Absolutely not. It's boring. It's boring. I read research, but it's a research, so it's very technical. It's boring. But from the very interesting trick is to get something interesting from all over this research. I found one that explained to us that if you eat something seated, you perceive the food better than if you eat when you stand. But why? Because your brain has to use energy to give the possibility to your muscle to let you stand up in that position. So your energy are dedicated to your muscle. If you are seated, you will use less energy for your muscle, so you have more energy for perceive the taste.
So if you want to lose weight, you need to stand.
Probably you have, yes. And it's a good interpretation. It's a very good interpretation. Next time I will call you, okay, I need a suggestion for you.
Another chance.
Absolutely.
So me.
And sometimes I read research that are crazy. People research about everything, but it's amazing. The human mind, it's incredible. And probably this is one of the reasons pushed me to having this mindset. Working all the day with the psychology, with the mentality of the people, it's so interesting. It can be boring. Human beings are not boring. We are socialized animals. When we live with others. We love to spend time with others.
And we learn, we constantly learn.
Absolutely. If you are humble, and not all the people in Miami are humble, but this is another question. No, I mean, it's very important, especially when, why I say this thing about humble people, because a lot of companies, when they come to me, they say, I have the best product, the best service ever. The issue are the customers. They are not able to figure out that my product is the best. They say, okay, probably there is something wrong in the way you are communicating your brand. No, the problem are the customers. Okay,
It's the opposite, because exactly, you can have the best product, but if you don't have customer, you're not going to sell it. How do you know about your product?
correct. And so I tell them, okay, try to figure out if you are a customer of yours, do you buy your product or not? Or do you buy this product? Often I try to find something that can be close to them, like interest. Sometimes I see them having some question inside, saying, which one? But if you have issue in choosing your product or another one, there is a big issue. Because you have to trust in your product 100%. If I'm able to put a question, a doubt inside your mind,
There's
something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something wrong.
Oh my god, it was very, very amazing, very good conversation.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, exactly, me too.
It's a pleasure.
I hope we will repeat after like this.
Absolutely. There are a lot of things that we can learn from the unconscious part of our brain.
Yeah.
And my goal is to let people figure out that really we are emotional animals. We are too much concentrated on technology now. People talk about artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Zero emotion.
You're
Artificial
disconnected.
intelligence. Correct. So, what's the huge difference between an artificial intelligence and a human being? The senses. An artificial intelligence before now, they are not able to perceive the smell of something, and we do. And the emotion. If you try to interact with ChatGPT or all this stuff, they are not able to perceive emotion. And if they are able to recreate a behavior, they are not able to figure out what is behind that behavior. We have an amazing neurons inside our brain called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons, some neurons that we use to have an emotion when we see a movie, for example. We see bad things in a movie and we start crying because our mirror neurons are activated by an image, an experience that we lived. So if I see someone that loses dog, for example, I had dog when I was in Italy, I probably have 20 years in my time. But if I never had a dog, probably that she doesn't create a so strong emotion. The mirror, when you go to cinema, you can have a huge emotion, then the film finish, you have dinner out or a drink, and you stop crying, and you are normal.
Yeah.
What happens? The mirror neurons are able to recreate the emotion, the reaction, but they didn't know what is behind that emotion. The same thing is artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence can recreate the behavior of a human being, more or less. Not a so smart human being also, that's okay. But they are not able to know what is behind that behavior. Because in all our behavior, there is a behind. And so I think we have to concentrate more on people and more on the emotion, more on the experience. In my life, I didn't know nothing about baseball, for example. I'm Italian, don't play baseball. My son last year started playing baseball, T-ball, less than they are very young. And so I went with him to spend time together, and we live very close to the baseball field. So he passionate for baseball. Every single day he asked me, Daddy, may we go and you can train me? Train you?
I have no idea what
No. So in the evening, when I go to bed, I watching tutorial on YouTube about how to train a kid 5 years old, and the day after I do the same exercise I saw the night before, without saying to him that I had this secret. And he became a very good player, he became passionate. And so I went all the training session, and the coach was alone, because no other parents helping him, and I did the wrong thing. I said, can I help you? No. Because he said yes. And from that moment I started helping him, and more and more and more, and I became the second coach of the team.
Wow.
And every single Sunday we have a match, and Tuesday we have the training session, and my son continues to ask me every single day, may we train together. And he's a very good player. He had an amazing statistic at the end of the day, at the end of the season. He was the best player of his team. And very happy for him. And this year, the coach told me, oh, you are bored, obviously. Obviously, I'm on board. But the big issue is, yesterday he called me and said, oh Marco, next Tuesday we will have our training session, but I have an issue, I can't be there. What?
You will be alone.
Yes, I will be alone with like 15, 6 years old kids, and it will be a problem. So then things happen. But in this case, I went to the stadium to watch some baseball match, and they had the experience. For Americans, a baseball match, I hope people don't offend with this, it's long, and it's very long, but people don't go there to watch the match, but to have the experience. They eat, drink, they have time with friends, then it's more than the match. Same thing is soccer. I'm Italian, passionate for soccer, so I went to Inter Miami, and there is like a huge city outside with all the games before the game, so my American friend went there like 4 p.m. Match is 7 p.m. Yeah, there is a lot of games. 3 hours before, it's a little bit too much. But that's the experience, more than the single thing. And sometimes we have to stop. We have the ocean, it's a good way to meet, yes, and to go slowly, and you have to figure out that human beings are the most important thing in our life. Things come and go, and you can buy a beautiful car and tomorrow someone can steal the car and you don't have the car anymore or something similar. People are the only really interesting thing in our life.
And I think it's the beautiful and of today's episode.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure. We'll be following you and watching your next step and next goal because you are bouncing.
I will bounce to the next goal, and I hope that one day I can be here again
Yes, of course.
to talk more about goals and to human being and to bounce.
Beautiful. Thank you guys.
Thank
you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my, any dramas to gain. Never one and the same. Excitement and depth in every frame. Joy and journey, joy in the fame. Agata and Kinga, set in the flame.